Welcome to At the Disney Movies with the Hearts.
I'm Kelly.
I'm David.
And this week, it's two saucy ladies fighting over one big old shaggy dog.
Woohoo!
The Shaggy Dog from 1959.
Here comes that Shaggy Dog again in Walt Disney's new motion picture.
Get him! That Shaggy Dog just stole my car!
Follow that dog. It's the funniest adventure that ever happened to anyone. See Fred MacMurray and Gene Hagen in Walt Disney's new motion picture, The Shaggy Dog.
Yep.
All I'm going to say is my original take on the remake of The Shaggy Dog has been justified.
Oh, well, yeah, the remake has nothing to do with this movie.
Are you kidding me? Think about how bad the remake to That Darn Cat was. This is just the same thing. It's just as bad.
Absolutely. In that case, you are 100% correct.
I don't really know what you thought about this movie, to be honest, because I kind of feel like I might have enjoyed it more than you.
I think you probably did. I thought this movie was a little up and down, but overall enjoyable.
I don't know why I enjoyed this movie so much.
I can see it. I can see the path to enjoying it. I can also see my own where it ebbs and it flows, and there was a minute where I was like, ooh, maybe I will hate this movie. No, maybe I won't.
This movie is ridiculous.
It is very, very ridiculous. And it stars many of the usual suspects.
Oh my god, it's so good. I think that this movie, the whole time I was just thinking, so many of these old movies, we need to watch more old movies. These old movies have such charming qualities that the other movies don't have.
It's true.
The new ones.
It's very, very true.
So my initial thought was I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a bumpy ride that was very funny.
Yes, it was. Was it funny? I mean,
it was funny.
I laughed.
It was funny.
You did not.
Well, yeah, when do I ever laugh out loud when we're watching one of these movies? I'm too busy taking notes, and paying attention, and trying not to give away my position.
I know, David's so tactical. It's just like, oh, is Kelly gonna think I liked it or not? Like, literally, he could be frowning, and then he's like, oh my god, this is the greatest movie of my life. No, I liked it a lot more than I thought I was gonna like it.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. I definitely did not think I was gonna like this movie.
And it's so stupid. This is a dumb movie.
If I would have known that this was one of the Tommy Kirk movies, though, I would have been like, okay, I'll probably like it.
Really? You feel that way about The Monkey's Uncle?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Swiss Family Robinson?
Not to
the
mention
little boy,
the little kid, and him in Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah, absolutely. The little kid, this is probably his golden performance. This is the best that he does.
Just wait till we watch Old Yeller. Your mind's gonna be blown. They're in that too.
No, I know, I saw that, but I mean, I don't see him, because this is after Old Yeller?
No, this is before.
Is it before?
Yeah, the little kid's face isn't very fat, so it's before.
But I feel like that this is the peak him, though. He really knocked all of his scenes out of the park.
And he wasn't super annoying.
The mooch.
In Swiss Family. God. Can we just, for a second, the names in this movie are horrendous.
They're awesome. Wilby?
Moochie, but it actually was apparently Montgomery.
Montgomery? Well, yeah, why would you call a little boy Montgomery? You're going to give him a nickname.
Moochie! What was the mom's name? Verna? Frida, okay.
That's a good name. I thought the mom was secretly the hottest one in the whole movie. Maybe not even secretly. They just wished her away, though.
Yeah, they do. She doesn't really have much to say.
Yeah.
She's definitely not a, God. What's that lady? She's not a Calloway, that's for sure.
She's no Calloway. Yeah.
Yeah, it has all the greatest hits.
And that other guy, apparently the Fred MacMurray, who's a huge star.
Oh, the dad?
The dad is in 6 other movies.
Oh, he was...
The Absent-Minded Professor is one of them.
He reminded me a lot of the guy that played the Kelso from the That Darn Cat. A lot.
A little bit. He is a little fey, which is funny.
He was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
He was very good, and...
Blast.
Yes, dear?
It's ridiculous of all the sickly sentimentality. Giving a medal to a dog.
Don't get the paper in the butter, dear.
A big hero out of him.
What'd he do?
He dragged a baby from a burning building. Now, who couldn't do that?
Now, don't upset yourself, Wilson.
Dogs. Yapping and snapping at a man's heels. Man's best friend. If I ever find the idiot who said that...
Of course, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I mean, his big thing was My Three Sons, if you'd ever watched Nick at Night.
Yeah, and there was another person on this that was in My Three Sons.
Well, actually, yeah, I mean, the Buzz was one of the brothers.
He needs to just buzz away.
His character was hilarious.
His character is a douche.
Yeah, I know, but he's a perfect, old school douche.
I hate him so much.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is he's not cute. Why are these falling all over themselves over him? He's not cute. Tommy Kirk is way cuter than him.
He's slick. He's slick.
Is he though? Is
no,
he?
he got 2 girls to go out with him, and he keeps conning Tommy Kirk out of his money.
Oh my god, I can't. This movie was not what I expected. I think it's because we watched the original one first, and I was thinking that...
Not the original one first, the remake
We watched the remake first, and I was thinking that the dad was going to turn into a dog.
Yeah, same.
And I was, oh my god, this movie's way better.
Yeah, it makes more sense this way.
A lot more sense. Let me read the synopsis for our friends here that don't know about the Shaggy Dog from 1959. God, this movie's so weird. It has all the classic things that you want a 50s movie to have. Family, comedy, fantasy. After years of on-the-job clashes with cranky canines, mail carrier Wilson Daniels sees man's best friend as his worst enemy. This makes for one hairy situation when a magical ring accidentally transforms his teenage son Wilby into a... Not Wibbly. Wilby into a lumbering sheepdog, as if switching from a human to a dog and back again isn't awkward enough for a teenager. Wilby uncovers a plot by international spies who plan to steal government secrets in order to sabotage a missile operation.
The espionage angle of this was hilarious.
Okay. Were we watching Return from Witch Mountain?
I don't know. It came from nowhere, though. All of the sudden, it became a totally different movie 3/4 of the way through. Okay.
It was so amazing. It was like, and the one dad's like, "Ooh, I might have to kill my daughter." Blah, 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 blah. Like, this movie is incredible. You guys don't even know. This movie's great.
Well, hopefully they do. I mean, really.
So I was surprised. The director, Charles Barton, I thought he would have done more Disney movies, but he just did a lot of 50s TV.
Yeah, I mean, he did some Petticoat Junction, which has got the best music of 30 seconds in the world.
Oh, he did Petticoat Junction?
Petticoat Junction.
I say that like I know what Petticoat Junction is, but David just loves the theme song.
Yes, I do. It's the best.
At the junction,
Petticoat Junction.
it is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Do you even know the show? Do you ever watch the show?
A few times. It's not a very good show.
You just like the music.
It's a great theme song.
Why is it that the shows back in the 50s through 70s had such awesome theme songs, and now nobody has a good theme song?
Because they have to pay for the song, and they're too cheap to actually pay for the song, even though it really helps you know the show and get into it.
Because, we're going to jump ahead really quick for the music, but the opening theme part of this movie was one of my favorite parts.
The Shaggiest Dog.
It was so stupid.
It was really stupid. And they had that, was it like a yarn dog?
Yes.
Yeah,
It was like The Parent Trap.
It was, oh yeah, that is true. It's a black and white. Oh, so we should mention, this is a black and white movie.
Right.
But it didn't bother me that much.
I did not know this was in black and white.
Yeah, me neither.
I had no idea. And
were any of the other 50s movies we watched in black and white?
This is the first black and white movie we've watched.
Are you sure? Are you sure that the World War II movie, what was that called? The horse movie.
Oh, White Stallions?
Was that in black and white?
No, it was not.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. Is this the only one that we've seen?
This is the first one we've seen in black and white.
Because even Tonka was in color.
Yep.
I wonder if they were colorized or because... skipping ahead, this is the first colorized Disney movie, too.
Yeah, I had that as a fun fact, too.
Yeah, me too. There was very few of them, so I'm sure we have all the same ones.
I think it was kind of better in black and white. I really liked it.
Oh, no, this would have been awesome in color, but...
Well, sure, but it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, which is rare. Usually, if it's in black and white, it needs to be really good to kind of overcome that for me, but this, I didn't think about it except for at the very beginning.
Yeah, no, at first I thought, because I had seen, and even in the picture on Disney Plus, it shows it in color.
Oh, interesting.
Which is, so that was a little confusing. And so at first I was really thrown off because I was thinking, well, the picture was in color, so maybe this is just a flashback. But no, it was definitely in black and white, but don't let that put you off. It was great.
Yeah, don't let it fool you.
We kind of touched on the actors a little bit.
Yeah, we had Fred McMurray, the My Three Sons, the Absent-Minded Professor.
Which is also a Disney movie.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I mentioned it. And then there's a few other movies. Apparently, he was a very good actor for his time. And it's clear he is a good actor.
Yeah, no, he's
kind of funny. He's a little fey, like I said earlier. He's great. He's good.
And, I mean, Tommy Kirk, good old Tommy. We know him.
Good old Merlin.
From Swiss Family Robinson, from Monkey's Uncle. He's in Old Yeller, if you've seen that. I mean... And,
he's in Son of Flubber, whatever that is.
Yeah, so he was a well-used Disney actor.
Well, right. I mean, we still have the Misadventures of Merlin to get to.
We have Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
Oh, God, I can't.
He's also in The Absent-Minded Professor.
Oh, that's weird. So they've acted together before.
Yeah. And
then you have Kevin Corcoran, who's the little kid, Moochie, the annoying kid, but he wasn't. He really wasn't as annoying in this one.
interested to see him in Pollyanna with the other lady. Yeah, he's in Pollyanna. Yeah.
Wow. So they really did back then just use the same actors over and over again.
Yeah, they had a stable of Disney people, and so that Jean Hagen, the mom, this is her only Disney movie too. She was in Singing in the Rain.
Yeah. But she looked really familiar.
And she was really strong for the 3.5 scenes she was in. Yeah. But that's all they really used her for. They didn't really utilize her very much.
You gotta have a strong head to go about these things. And, I was actually really surprised there wasn't more, like, sexist stuff in this movie. It was pretty...
Yeah, it was really pretty down the middle.
It was pretty good. And then I really thought, the whole time I was watching Buzz, the Tim Constantine guy... I thought, he looks like some old person I know. Like, I was thinking about him as an old person, but I couldn't picture him.
I was convinced that him and then Francesca, along with Annette, were all Mickey Mouse Club people, and no, that's not true.
Were any of them Mickey Mouse Club people?
Just Annette.
Oh, she was a Mickey Mouse Club person?
She's the Mickey Mouse Club person.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything.
I think she was Disney's personal whatever.
Yeah, and
a lot of grooming.
So yeah, Annette Funicello, and I didn't recognize her at first because her face was very round in this movie.
Well, she's still really young.
No, she's very young.
It's the first movie she's in.
Yes.
And she plays the girl next door with a heart of gold.
That was my other fun fact, David.
This was one of mine, yeah. Like I said, we're going to have all the fun facts.
So yeah, this was her first movie, and she was great in this movie. But she's actually a really good actress.
Yeah, she does all right, and she's a singer. I think she sung in that song.
In the Shaggy Dog?
Mm-hmm, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, I didn't even realize they had a female voice in that.
Listen, yeah, and you'll kind of hear one.
Listen.
And that Roberta Shore lady that played Francesca, I swear I had seen her before, and absolutely not. I had not seen her anywhere before.
She can go away.
She was fine.
I don't like her character.
Because she was French?
No. To all of our French listeners, don't listen to David. It has nothing to do with her being French. It's because she's a...
Was she?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I don't like her character.
Wow, Kelly has feelings.
No, you will get there, but I don't like her character.
That's what I mean, you got feelings.
She's stupid and she's a... So, yeah, we already talked about both my fun facts.
Oh, so I have another one.
So it was the first film debut for Annette Funicello, and it was the first Disney film to be colorized.
Oops. So I didn't really have either of those written down, but I read them. It was the second highest grossing movie of 1959.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, behind Ben-Hur.
What is Ben-Hur?
I've never seen it, but I can't believe you've never heard of it.
But I know I haven't. What is it?
It's like one of those outdoorsy movies, like a Swiss Family, but serious, probably. And it was what they say is Disney's first live-action comedy.
So what, all of his previous live-action movies were serious?
They weren't comedies. Was Tonka funny?
I mean, parts of it. Was it supposed to be? No.
Was White Stallions funny? No.
Oh, God, that movie was actually really
It
good.
was great, but it wasn't funny at all.
Yeah, no, I guess that's true.
So I think it's time to get into her.
Yeah, let's get shaggy with it.
We get shaggy with it, and then we open up right away with the shaggiest dog and the yarn animation. And like Kelly said previously, very Parent Trap opening. Very Parent Trap opening.
Yes, and this came out close to Parent Trap, didn't it, or no?
This is 5 or 6 years before.
So, but I'm curious if any of these other movies will have a similar kind of thing to it.
You know they've got to. It's just like all the animated movies made between the late 60s and 1980. They're all almost exactly the same.
Yeah, and I mean, I just gotta say, it's based on a book.
Unbelievable.
Hound of St. Florence was the name of the book. And they said it in the movie as a line, too.
Oh, about the, what was it? Oh boy, what kind of people were they?
The Borgias?
Yeah, the Borgias.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever that was supposed to mean, the whole part was
These
so
Borgias,
weird.
yeah.
But yeah, so it was based on a book, so another reading club ad.
And the movie begins with a narrator, and then that's the last of the narrator.
Yeah, which it didn't even come in at the end, which was kind of strange.
Yeah, I was a little bit like, oh, so this is going to have narration. No, it's not.
No, but it did, I mean, the first thing right off the bat that I was thinking, oh, that makes way more sense than the remake. He's a mailman, and so obviously he doesn't like dogs.
He's not some rich executive douchebag like Tim Allen.
It's so tropey and stupid. I love it.
And it makes it fit. Here you got this working class mailman, Wilson Daniels.
Well, wasn't he retired?
No, he's young. He has kids that are in high school and grade school. He's not retired.
I wish we would have seen him as a mailman, though.
That actually would have been dope.
Because
you're not wrong.
I was a little disappointed with that.
This was basically The Weekend.
Yeah. Through the whole movie. What was the passage of time? I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard to say. It was almost one Friday, then another Friday, and that was the movie.
Dog Fridays. I don't know. So after we basically at the introduction, he hates dogs. We get the kids, Tommy Kirk and Moochie. So it's Wilby and Moochie.
God,
what were they thinking?
Which I swear Wilby has to be short for Wilbur.
Probably.
Right. I mean, it only makes sense because his dad is Will's son. The kid's going to be Wilbur, and they just call him Wilby.
And they're making a rocket ship in the basement?
No, a rocket interceptor. Or a missile interceptor.
Oh, my God.
And they had been making other stuff. This is basically Merlin, but not called Merlin. But Tommy Kirk just likes playing a science nerd.
I mean, maybe this is the prequel.
Could be.
Yep.
Could be.
And so the mom and the dad are having tea, but then all of a sudden the rocket's going to blast off, so everyone has to evacuate the house.
As the dad is talking about how the mom needs to be harder on the son.
Yeah, I suppose that's not his job.
You would think back then, he has to whip out the belt, but like I said, he's a little light-handed.
He is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So they all go outside, the rocket just blasts out the roof. Okay.
Which is awesome. It looks like when when a water heater blows up and launches out of somebody's roof.
Is that a thing?
With older ones, yeah, they can do that. So the dad's all mad. You have to get rid of all your...
Yeah, which... I don't know.
I mean, that seems harsh. It's like you got to get rid of all your animals and your chemistry stuff. How about maybe we focus your efforts on being a genius? Maybe we go get you an internship at the rocket company, the local... I'm just going to call it Rocketdyne, just to make it easier for all of us.
Is that Aerojet Rocketdyne?
Yes.
Sponsor us, please.
I was going to call it Lockheed at first, and I was like, let's make it local. We're going to make it Aerojet Rocketdyne.
It's based in Redmond, Washington. Yeah, so...
Or SpaceX. I mean, come on now. Let's go where the money's at.
Oh my God. Friend Tommy Kirk is actually Elon Musk's dad, apparently.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
I'm stupid. Shut up. So then there is a new family moving in down the street. What?
Right, yeah. We see that, but we see Buzz first.
Oh, right.
And where... I keep wanting to call him just Tommy. I'm going to call him Tommy from now on. Will be Tommy.
Tilby.
Merlin. is trying to get his money from Buzz. He's like, where's my $7, dude?
Yeah, and he's like, hi, Allison, in the meanwhile.
Yeah. Hi, Allison, the short-haired girl next door.
Yeah, and she's in at Finish-Hello, and she's, I'm going out with Buzz,
No, check me out.
Yeah, she's the hottest chick, but then all of a sudden there's a moving van that comes, and there's a new hot chick that comes out with a big old booty.
There's a bigger, hotter chick with big old lips and a big old booty. Big old mouth.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, and she speaks French. She's like, oh, oui.
And she's talking to her dog, and they see her and they're hypnotized, and that Finish-Hello is not amused at all.
With her square tennis racket.
Well, that's what they were back then.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's still funny.
And so she gets all huffy and goes inside and slams the door, and they're just following.
Slams the door to Buzz's killer little hot rod.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how dangerous a vehicle like that is, and how different cars are now. I mean, obviously, if you would have crashed that at like 30 miles an hour, everybody in the car would die.
Well, sure. If you'd have crashed that at 10 miles an hour, everybody would be dead. It would have rolled over.
And he was just whipping that thing around as a teenager.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And so then the boys just go over to her house. Okay. And
right.
And
at the same time, Wilby's mom is spying on them via the mail and binoculars.
Oh, yeah. And the dad is like, oh, you should be ashamed of yourself, but I'm going to peep on him anyways. And he's like, tell me about the gossip, but I don't want to hear how you found out about it.
Yeah, and as he's zooming in his binoculars, he's like, oh my god, I can't believe they brought a camel. And then he finally gets clarity, and he's like, oh, it's even worse, they have a dog. It's like, are you kidding me? How many dogs would have been in this neighborhood? 100?
He hates dogs.
This was back when you didn't even have to keep your dog on a leash or in a fence. You could just let it go free.
No, he hates dogs, and... So,
maybe he shot all the dogs on the block, because that was legal then, too.
Well,
so...
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, maybe.
So...
Except for that black and brown dog that they show kind of creeping every once in a while. That's like the one
and that was
slick
not
dog.
a thing later at all.
Yeah.
The two, Buzz and Wilby, follow Francesca into her house. Just no big deal.
Which back then it wouldn't have been a big deal. You were just neighborly talking. And
so then her dad is some rich museum curator, and go take this briefcase down to the museum.
Fancy art guy.
And so they take it down there with her.
After Wilby gets raped by her dog.
Oh, that's right. The dog is like freaking out. So her dog, what is the dog's name? Chiffon.
Well, look at that. Never seen Chiffon take such a fancy to anyone.
He sure is friendly.
Yeah, the dog's freaking out about Wilby. I keep wanting to say Wibbly.
So every time I wrote it down, I just wrote Wibby. You couldn't do the L and the B at the same time.
And so they're going to go to the museum with Francesca. So they go down there and...
Immediately Buzz and Francesca ditch.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. And so then... Wilby's by himself, and he runs into the kooky museum curator, who they should have put Edwin in it, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, Edwin would have been perfect here for Professor Plumcut.
Yeah, and he starts going into this story about the Borgias and how they used to change into animals. And
right, after we heard a little bit about the Borgias from Francesca, and how they knew sorcery, but it was like a callback almost. So it's like more Borgias, more sorcery. Oh, I believe that they turn people into cats and dogs. Finally, Wilby gets a little freaked out and bolts out of there. And as he's walking home, Buzz drives by. He's like, oh, bruh.
Before that, though, he knocks over this table of all of this
He knocks it over 3 times.
Yeah, no, I know. It's really stupid because one time he just literally, there's an empty table and he like knocks it over and picks it up and he's like, oh my god.
I identify with this as a teenage boy. You just don't have control of your faculties.
No, but that's important because all these rings and gems and everything go everywhere.
Jewels, which by the way, if you would have done that, they would have sat there and cataloged everything and searched your backside before they would have ever let you leave with a ring.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the 50s, so...
No, even then. That ring was worth more than that kid's life.
No, it really is. And so then, so he's walking home, and Buzz and Francesca just pull up, and then Buzz is like, okay, bye, Wilby. Like, they just ditched him.
Yeah. Well, no, he drops Francesca off first.
Well, yeah.
And then he buzzes by Buzz, and he's like, oh, hey, bro, what's up? Where you been?
Buzz is a dick.
He is. He's... So, Wilby sadly packs up his life's work and belongings of science and animals.
Yeah.
Which, once again, makes zero sense and also does not come up again in the movie.
No, it does not. That's true.
They're talking about, like, oh, Moochie sold half of his stuff to some other kids, and they couldn't get rid of the turtle, which doesn't come back up again.
Yeah, which
and
is sad.
who cares if your kid has a turtle in the first place? It's a turtle. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it like your kid blew a hole in the roof, though.
Okay, if he was smart enough to blow a hole in the roof, I would try and figure out a way to redirect his energies into something better and support him.
But now, this is the 50s, though.
Yeah,
Sorcery.
even then. Sorcery.
Wilby finds the ring in the cuff of his pants, and he reads on the ring, I guess, the canine transformis, blah, 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 but you don't have to know Latin to read that it says...
Canis transformis something,
yeah, it means
transform
into a dog. So he keeps saying it while he's wearing the ring, so then he slowly starts turning into a dog.
And he, like, flips the ring, and then all of a sudden, yeah, he's a dog.
Oh my god. But he can still talk.
Yeah, so that's the hugest difference between the remake of the Shaggy Dog and this Shaggy Dog, is that they couldn't talk in the remake.
But it's so good.
It makes it much better, and he sounds exactly like himself.
Yeah, and his dad is up at the top of the stairs. Come on, Wilby, go to bed. He's like, I'm coming. He's like, oh, you sound like you have a cold.
No, I wore my sweater, bro, I swear.
Yeah, and so then he's thinking, and he's... oh, I have to go back to the museum. The doctor will know what's wrong with me. And
so Professor Plumclut, he goes back to the museum. The professor believes him immediately.
And he's just like, oh, there's a dog. Whatever.
No big deal. Oh, let me take the ring from you. You don't need that anymore. But if you want to get out of this, you're going to have to perform an act of heroism.
Because he just knows that, apparently.
So from here, I was thinking he was going to keep trying to do wackadoodle hero things and failing, and that is not what happened at all.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's just... and then he's just like, okay, I'm too busy for you. Go away, dog.
Yeah, beat it.
Be happy and keep a stiff upper lip. Whatever that's supposed to frickin' mean.
And he's kind of telling him he's going to be a boy sometimes and a dog the other times.
Yeah, he's like, just get over it.
Like, whenever it happens, it happens. It's all good. So, Wilby goes home. He puts, as a dog, he puts on some PJs.
Why?
Gargles and brushes his teeth and goes to bed.
Why?
So, because they could. That was the whole point.
So, okay, when he first started putting on clothes, I thought he was going to try to pretend to be a person with clothes on.
Nope.
Which would have been so hilarious.
And this, to me, was where the movie kind of started to take a little dip. I was kind of like, I don't know.
But then the next morning, oh my god, I'm dead. The kid says, do you think Pop will let me keep you, Wilby?
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was the line of the movie, by far.
Do you think Papa let me keep you, Wilby?
Oh my god, it's so funny. So yeah, the little brother is just excited to have a dog.
That line actually may even end up being a drop from here on out.
Oh
I don't know how we're going to use it.
I don't know.
But we'll find a way, I think, because it's funny enough to use.
Just like, it's your brother.
Yeah.
Do you think Pop will let me keep you,
It's
Wilby?
your older brother. It's your older brother that still talks.
Like, what? And then he's, oh, I hope Pop won't shoot you.
Yeah.
And it's just because apparently his dad hates dogs so much, he's just going to shoot them if he sees them in the house.
And he's also super allergic to them.
Yeah, apparently. Even though it kind of was, it's in your head kind of thing.
So, I mean, he catches the dog in the house. He gets a shotgun, he shoots at him. After a little hilarious breakfast scene with Mom.
Oh, yeah, he's, or do you think my eyes are getting puffy? Your eyes are always puffy.
Well, I know that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but he takes out the shotgun, and this part was really ridiculous. It reminded me of That Darn Cat a little bit, with the guy shooting the cat, but...
Yeah, it was good.
It was really good. I enjoyed that part a lot.
So then Wilby goes home to Francesca's house, and he has to eat kibble, and he's not happy about it.
Nope, he
So
wants.
he keeps trying to eat bacon.
Yeah, meat.
He's like, I'm a man. I need food.
And Francesca's like, "Oh, you don't want to be on the table. Oh, you silly chiffon." Ho, ho, ho. And then he gets locked in the closet by the butler.
Yeah. The clearly evil butler, Stefano.
Yes. And then he changes back into a person while he's in the closet.
And he, like, flips out that the door's locked, finds a screwdriver in the desk, pops the hinges on the door, and rips the door off, which is exactly what you should do if you're caught anywhere, by the way. If you see that, you can do that.
I survived.
Yeah, exactly. The dog, somehow the dog walks in. Oh, he throws the screwdriver for the dog because he sees the dog in the house.
Yeah.
The dog goes and fetches the screwdriver. The butler comes in and sees the dog with the screwdriver in its mouth and thinks, "Oh my god, the dog."
Well, isn't that what you would think?
No. I would think what just happened.
Okay, you wouldn't think if you locked up a dog, a canine, a four-legged canine...
That it knocked the hinges out and took the door off gently? No, I would not think that.
Right, so you'd feel crazy.
I would think somebody broke into the house.
Okay. Sure. And then, so the dog runs away, Wilby dog runs away, and so this is where the little kid, this actor has a token line he says in every single movie. He says, "Aw, gee." He says that in every movie. Every movie, he said it in Swiss Family, he says it in Old Yeller, and he says it in this.
He's very good at it.
"Aw, gee." And...
He's super disappointed that his brother's not a dog anymore.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh man, we really wanted a dog, even if it was going to be my brother." And so then they just go to dinner, and they're talking about some dance at the country club, and his mom is all, "Oh, you got to get it in with the ladies," and his dad's, "Oh, I don't know about that. You're not ready to date."
That's what I mean. His mom is like, beer aisle, and his dad is he's a little light-footed. He's like, "I don't know about that. Oh, no, I was 20, not 23.
Yeah. And so they're going to get ready to go, and then Buzz shows up somehow, and Buzz is saying, "Oh, I have 2 dates. Like, why don't you pretend to be a date but not really be a date?" And I'm like, "F you, Buzz. You're a dickhole." Yeah,
he's the fake fourth. He's the fake fourth wheel.
This is immediately where I hate Buzz. He's a dickhole.
Yeah, he's a smooth character.
He's like, "I'm a pimp," but it's like, no. F you, Buzz. You're an asshole.
Correct, sir.
But immediately, it kind of backfires, because as soon as Allison's talking about it, Allison's like, "Well, even though I like you, I kind of want Wilby, because there's something different about him lately."
It's also, when they're picking up the ladies, Francesca, and this is where I was immediately thinking, I don't like Francesca, because I associate with Allison. Francesca is like, "Oh, blah, 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 French, blah, 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 blah."
That was very pretentious of her. It was really...
Yes, and Allison's like, "I don't speak French." She's like, "Oh, you, Francesca, you're a bitch." Like, yeah, she's a bitch. I'm sorry, she is. And this is where I hated her character forever.
After this, Buzz is playing his mastermind game of...
Oh my god.
Of convincing both chicks that he's going out with them, and he's just trying to help out Wilby, and Wilby's doing his thing, but all of the chicks want Wilby because he's got that animal instinct power.
Oh my god, no. But basically they switch off dancing with him because they're believing what Buzz is saying, and the parents are at the dance. They're like, "Oh, the girls really seem to enjoy dancing with Wilby, and he's having a great time." And all of a sudden, he starts turning into a dog.
Very noticeably, and nobody notices.
Right? He's literally touching people with his paw.
Yeah.
And they're just, "Oh, okay." And then his brother notices and starts freaking out and gets him, and then all of a sudden Wilby's saying, "Oh no, not now." And then I realize this is just like a metaphor for puberty.
It really is.
Because he's literally saying, "Oh no, not now," like he just got a boner or something.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, it's like you got a big fat boner on the dance floor.
But I will say,
which he probably would have.
I not where I was going, but I will say I really love 1950s dresses.
I have no opinion about
I always
this.
want to talk about the fashion. You got the fashion from Witch Mountain with Tia and her freaking pantsuit.
Well, that's different, because that's amazing.
No, but like, especially the mom's dress in this movie, I really wanted to wear it.
I would have to go back and see.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so the brother saves him, the dog interrupts the dance, running all over, and Buzz gives a crazy chase.
Yeah, because Francesca's like, get him, Buzz. It's your dog. You can get him. Like,
yeah,
what are you
how
doing?
about if it's your dog? Maybe you should be able to call it.
Oh my god, it made me crazy. And that's also, and I think it was the first scene, and then this was immediately compacted. I was like, oh, I hate you. No, Francesca, how about Francesca? Nah.
Francesca, nah, bruh. So, then we get the cop gag scene part 2, which I think we skipped over the first one, which is fine.
Oh, because there are these cops, and the one cop keeps seeing the dog, and he feels crazy, and that was
because the first time the dog talked to him,
which was cute, but
and then this time the dog was talking on the phone and talked to him, and he thinks he's just crazy. But I mean, it comes into play more as we go into this, so it's important to mention.
Yeah.
And then Buzz, we come back to Buzz and Francesca, and he gets a little rapey and weird with her.
Well, after they drop off Allison, and because they all know that apparently they were 2 dates for one dude, so she's like, F you, Buzz. And then they go to drop off Francesca, and she's like, yeah, just like the other chick said, F you. But then all of a sudden, she's like, oh, okay.
I'll clean your wound.
Ugh. So then, of course, Wilby is the dog, so he's just growling and making a scene at Buzz.
And attacks him and bites him, and Buzz is like, I gotta get out of here.
And then she's like, oh, Buzz is a nice boy. And I'm like, he played you!
Yeah, are you kidding?
Yeah, exactly. Is the next scene with the secret missile ops guy Thurum?
So, yeah, well, I mean, really, Francesca leaves the dog with her dad. Then Thrum and the dad talk, and Wilby hears the espionage talk.
And Thurum showed up earlier at some point, but
it was the same kind of creepy.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we realize, oh, her dad's like a secret missile dealer. He's the villain.
Well, he's a spy, of some kind, yeah.
So yeah, Wilby is listening, and this is where immediately I was thinking, am I watching Witch Mountain? Like, what is this missile operative?
Mooch tries to tell Dad about what Wilby said about the spies. Then Wilby shows himself as a dog to his dad. His dad faints about the spies and kind of believes him. And then the kids go to the cops. The cops won't take them.
Yep.
The butler takes Wilby away forcefully. And then the dad finally goes to Rocketdyne, basically, to Rocketdyne security.
Because the job calls for a cool-headed person, not you women, as he says to his wife.
Right.
And this part...
As he doesn't put his shoes on leaving the house.
This part actually I enjoyed quite a bit.
This was a great part, I thought.
Because the FBI... Is it the FBI?
No, it's the Rocketdyne security.
Okay, yeah, they're like, they don't believe him because he's talking, my son is a dog, and blah, 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 blah. And Section 32, and all of a sudden they perk up at Section 32.
Well, that's the thing, is that if you say the classified name of something, of the classified project, that's going to catch some signals.
Yeah, and so they turn him into a crazy doctor, and Moochie goes with him. And then we cut back over to Francesca's dad talking to the bad guy about all this, and...
As Wilby's listening, but then he turns back into himself and can't escape. Gets caught by Stefan, who sticks a gun in his face.
Yeah, another gun in a Disney movie, which
back then that was nothing. That was routine gunplay.
So they lock him up, and we go back to the psychiatrist's office, and this is one of my favorite parts because his dad is blah, 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 and they ask the little kid, and the Moochie is being smart because he needs to get out of there.
Yeah, all of a sudden he changes his story.
I don't know anything about that, and just the dad...
I need to go home.
The dad repeatedly saying, Moochie!
Moochie!
It was really funny.
Moochie!
I don't know anything about all this.
Moochie. Then... you don't believe your brother is a dog?
Gosh, sir, would you?
It was really funny.
It was hilarious. And it's where you can see how good of an actor this guy is. I mean, he does great with this.
So Moochie just gets out of there, and
they have a company car take Mooch home. No big deal.
Moochie!
Moochie!
Then we cut back to the bad guys, and he's all, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to kill my daughter, or whatever.
And then he gets just threatening and rapey with her.
Then Wilby is turning back into a dog as Moochie is coming to find him, because they have gone in the car.
As Francesca, Dad, and Stefano are escaping.
Stefano, what a great villain name.
It is a good villain name.
And then we get, it's so incredible. So they all escape, and the dog takes Buzz's car.
Yeah, the hot rod.
Just the dog driving it's so funny.
Especially when the dog is not looking through the windshield, but holding his head out the window and driving at the same time. That's hilarious.
It's great.
It's really great.
And then the cops get involved, and
they say, oh, the Shaggy Dog is driving the car, and that makes the chief of police go crazy. He flips out. And this is a very long scene, by the way.
Well,
and it's hard to describe.
Okay, it's the obligatory 50s, 60s, 70s car chase scene. They gotta have it in everything.
They do.
And this is where we learn that Moochie is short for Montgomery, because his dad, comes home, and Moochie and Buzz are, oh, we gotta follow the dog, and his dad's like, bruh.
He's like, Moochie, I'm never gonna talk to you again. It's like, dude, you're his dad, shut up.
Yeah, he says, Montgomery, I'm never gonna talk to you again. And then the cops catch up with Wilby as the dog, and they're pulling him over and
frisking him.
And I don't know why this was so funny to me, but Wilby the dog steals the cop car and drives
he bites the cop and steals the cop car.
And the cop is like, oh, he bit me, and the other guy's like, oh, it's nothing. And I don't know, it just was, I don't know why it caught me as so funny, but it was definitely my biggest laugh out loud movie.
You did laugh really hard at this point.
But it was funny. I don't know why. It was pretty funny. No, it was really funny. It was great.
So all the French people hit the dock, and Wilby is there right on their tail. He jumps onto the boat.
Yeah, and he's just fighting everyone. And this is keeping Wilby Shaggy Dog.
I mean, he is a big enough dog to fight everybody. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and so then the lady, Francesca, she's really sadly hitting people. She gets knocked off the boat, and then
Wilby jumps off to save her.
Apparently. And takes her to shore, and then Buzz all of a sudden shows up
at the last second.
Oh, I saved you. Ooh, I'm a dick.
And then Wilby bites the out of him
as he's turning back into a person.
Yeah, and then they start fighting under a net as people.
Yep.
And the real dog shows up and takes all the hero.
Yep.
Creds.
And, the police have come. They've captured all the bad guys, even though that wasn't really a focus.
All the Section 35 stuff turned out to be true. So now Wilson Daniels is a hero along with the dog.
Yeah, and Francesca just gave the family the dog, apparently.
As she went back to Paris to be with maybe her mom.
It makes no sense.
It makes a little sense.
Why would she give up her dog that she loved so much?
Because it kept turning into different animals.
But she doesn't know that.
Maybe she does.
No, I don't think so. Because then she would have kept that dog.
Maybe it cost too much to re-import it.
Too many restrictions.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Daniels is just like, oh, I love dogs now.
But he was still having his allergies.
Yeah.
But he just loves Fame more because, once again, a little light-footed.
Yep. And then Buzz and Wilby are just best friends. And they go and oh, Allison. And she's like, both of you. I found this other dude, which was amazing.
Yeah, that was really good. Because he had a nice big car.
Yeah.
And she just left those in the dust.
Yep.
And that's the end of the movie.
And that's the end of the movie. I loved it so much.
It basically set up Annette Funicello's career from that point forward.
I mean, yeah.
So what was your favorite part, Kelly?
I actually kind of had a hard time with this because I had a number of parts that were my favorite.
I'll admit that.
So it's a 4-way tie.
Well, I've only got 3, but okay.
So my 4 choices are
Start with 1.
Okay, the end Annette Funicello blowing them all off.
Okay, I can see exactly. So that's the one I left off.
Where she's like, F all of you. That I don't know why, but it was just so perfect. 'Cause they were like, ugh.
I'm going to say my favorite part is Will be getting all the at the country club. Because it wasn't just the 2 girls, it was the 3 girls. And probably more if he would have stayed.
I also had the dance. That was another one of my favorite parts. Maybe it was because of the outfits. I don't know. But I just loved the dance. That was great.
Could have been part of it.
And then another one I had was the FBI office where he, oh, Moochie, don't leave me.
Dad at Rocketdyne, that was my number 3. My second was all of the Moochie dog scenes. When we skipped over the part where he had the collar, and he was hoping to put it on, like, the Moochie dog scenes were hilarious.
Were you going to put that on me? Yeah, it's so perfect. No, that's great. My last one that I had was when the dad just immediately grabs his shotgun and he's just going to shoot the dog. Like, that's not a thing nowadays.
It is very Bullwhip Griffin in That Darn Cat. I will give you that.
Yeah,
it is funny.
There were a lot of good scenes in this movie.
Yeah,
sure.
there really were.
In terms of music, though, there was literally one song. There wasn't even background music, really. It was
Not really. There was just the Shaggiest Dog.
In terms of a theme song, was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
He was the shaggiest dog. He was the spookiest dog I ever did see.
Go on, get out of here. Go on. Get.
I saw that dog upon a stair. I looked again and he wasn't there.
So the main character thing was weird because, I mean, I guess Wilby's the main character.
He is, and he's really just a typical teenage boy.
Nerdy teenage boy.
I mean, Tommy Kirk really plays the same character. Think back to Swiss Family Robinson, where he's fighting with his brother for the chick. He's literally playing the same character.
Yeah, I mean, really, he is. It's terrible.
He plays the same character in every movie that he does. So
the middling little man who's a science nerd.
But it was so much better than the remake.
Oh.
Just the way they did it was so much better.
You feeling better, Ocho?
And really the weakest part was the whole villain,
the Doctor and Jurassic. I mean, Buzz, you could kind of make an argument was a villain.
And Stefano.
Well, Stefano was kind of neither here nor there.
They just threw that all in at the end, similar to Witch Mountain. Like, oh, we gotta throw in these villains here.
I mean, I will say you didn't like Stefano from the beginning.
No. And
what are you talking about? The villains were in Witch Mountain all the way through the movie. Don't even say that.
They are, but I'm saying the whole, like...
No. They're in the movie the whole time. And they're bad. No. I will not take that hypothesis of yours. So side characters, you have the dad.
Yeah, you have Wilson Daniels, you have Frida. But
Frida!
I mean, he was really good.
And Moochie, who was great.
Yes, this was one of his less annoying roles.
I think this is his best role.
You haven't seen Old Yeller.
Yeah, but I bet he's annoying in Old Yeller.
I mean, he is.
Yeah,
exactly. Gee.
Aww.
You have Allison, who is secretly one of the better characters.
The girl next door with the heart of gold.
Her little tiny role.
And then you have Francesca, the next door with the heart of gold.
Whatever. No.
I'm just kidding. She's not good looking, by the way.
No, and Annette Funicello is way better looking than her.
Yeah, which is saying a lot.
And you have Buzz, which is just...
He's the gross dude.
Yeah.
You know, he's almost like Buzz in Home Alone.
Okay.
But that's a little less fat.
That's all I kept thinking about. Who would name their kid Buzz? Stop doing that.
Yeah.
If you're going to name your kid Buzz, they're going to be gross and terrible.
Was the last Buzz Armstrong? The last real one?
Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah, maybe.
But he's
No, Buzz Lightyear's pretty annoying, so.
It's just all bad. And don't forget, and then even the police officer scenes were
funny, yeah.
Were really good because just forget about it. So they had the 2 police officers, Officer Hansen and Officer Kelly. Those scenes were really good too. So this movie really was just a combobulation of side characters.
And that's kind of why I say it was up and down.
Yeah.
It was a rocky ride of funniness to me.
Yeah, and I mean the cinematography, it's just this is the first movie we've seen in black and white.
I thought it was perfectly decent for black and white. It was just fine. There was nothing that bumped me. It wasn't like, oh man, you know what? No. We saw Frank and Weenie in black and white, which was god awful.
Oh, I guess we did. That's right. Okay, sorry everyone. It's not the first black and white movie. No, but it's the first black and white live action movie.
Right. And maybe the last.
But also, did you notice that sometimes you could literally tell it was a man in a dog costume?
Oh yeah, totally.
And they did use a lot of puppets for the dog face.
I think it might have been like a kid in a dog costume.
But okay, at the end of the movie when he jumps on the boat, you can clearly see it's a man. Like he's
well, yeah, it's easy to cover up the parts if you have the big shaggy dog.
But most of the time when they zoomed in on his face talking, it was a puppet, which is fine.
It was funny.
But it's just, yeah, I don't even really think about it being in black and white, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's if you're going to talk cinematography, it's a part of it.
What was your biggest surprise or disappointment, David?
I was disappointed by the incongruous story. Like, the story, it didn't flow right to me. It had, like I said, those bumps and those bruises that just, it kind of knocked it back for me. It could have been a little more even. Buzz could have been more of a villain. What's-her-name's dad could have been more of a villain.
Oh, the scientist.
It could have been a little clearer, a little more structured of a story.
So, I mean, I was definitely surprised that I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Right.
But that's not a thing.
Yeah.
So, I was surprised. It kind of felt like a stage play in a weird way. I don't know why I had that feeling.
I don't really see it, but okay.
I don't know. It was a strange movie, but I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a fun movie.
A fun movie.
Yeah.
So if you remade this movie, what would you do?
Okay, so clearly I wouldn't do what they did in the Tim Allen.
Yeah.
No,
that's what I said too.
Looking at that now,
like what did they do?
Okay,
what were they thinking?
So I appreciate that they did a different story. I appreciate that because I feel like if you're going to remake something, you should make the story different.
Okay. But not that.
But looking at this now, if they would have had the dad transforming into a dog, no, this is way better because it's literally, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a synonym, but it's literally a metaphor for puberty.
Right.
He's like, oh my god, I'm turning into a dog.
Not like, oh, I'm a middle-aged douchebag.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like this works much better. So this movie doesn't need to be remade, even though there's the Shaggy DA, which
I'm very interested to see the Shaggy DA.
Like, is it the same guy? I don't know.
It had the so we saw the Disney Plus preview. It had the same name. The dude's name was Wilson, or Wilby, whatever.
Yeah, I know, but is it Tommy Kirk? I don't know.
No, it's not Tommy Kirk. I know that.
Okay, so that's the other thing. This one and the remake, they didn't really address, like, does he still transform into a dog, or is that gone?
So in the remake, they kind of did address that he still did.
Because he catches a Frisbee in his mouth?
Yeah. I assume that that's what that meant.
Okay. So,
I assume that because he did a heroic act in this movie, that he did not still transform into a dog.
So he's done with puberty. Okay, cool. So...
yeah, right.
Yeah, I wouldn't remake this movie. Yeah, I just wouldn't.
Yeah, having seen the remake and having seen this now, I don't know. Like, I'm usually pretty strongly opinionated with what I would do to a movie. This one, I don't know. This is odd. It's
an odd movie, it is. But it's an oddly, like, good movie.
So would you recommend this to other people, Kelly?
I would. I think it's a fun movie, and I think kids would like it. And it's a silly, fun movie. It's really funny, actually.
I agree. I think it's very funny, and that you should at least see it once. You maybe don't need to watch it again and again, but this is something that you should see one time.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's way better than I thought it was going to be.
But it's something you have to sit down and watch. You can't half watch this movie, because otherwise you're going to be like, well, this is stupid.
No.
And if you're not smart enough to watch this in black and white, you.
Yeah, and that I will say, the fact that it was in black and white, but I didn't really think about it until after the initial, it's in black and white. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
Because if it's distracting, then it's in black and white, because now we're modern people who only see things in color.
As you actually see them.
And we're clearly just, a bunch of cavemen.
I can't watch Mr. Ed. It's in black and white. Wilbur.
So I had to Google. The budget was less than $1 million, but they made over $9 million cumulatively, and it was apparently an unprecedented return for a movie of the time.
So, like I said earlier, second highest grossing movie of 1959.
I get it.
Yeah, they made a lot of money on this movie, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So what's your rating for this movie, Kelly?
So, I gave this movie a 77%.
Damn.
I really liked it.
Kelly loved this movie.
No, I didn't.
Wow.
Okay, you have to get over 80 to be in the love category.
But you really liked it.
I really did. And I'm not going to be ashamed by it, because I just thought it was very charming and it was delightful. And you know what? I think just the end scene of Annette Funicello being like, both of you dudes, probably.
That was enough.
So that took it from like a 68% up to a 77 for me. Just that end a little bit, because that was so perfect. It was so good.
I would like to say that part brought it from a 68 down to what my actual rating was, which was a 61, but that would be false.
A 61? Really?
So, I liked this movie, but like I said, it was bumpy for me. I thought there were definitely some lame parts, some good parts. It's still a good movie. That's fair. It's a little slow. It could have cut some things. But I really like it. I really like this movie. It has a lot of bullwhip potential.
Yeah.
I liked all the acting. I liked all the people. That being said, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is? And it does have one. Has two.
For the critics, because of how much it grossed, I'm going to guess an 84%.
Okay, so you're going to be massively disappointed. It is a 68% with
Oh.
the critics, so right between the two of us.
Really? 68? Come on, man.
And then with the people, 48. Not a beloved movie.
What? 48?
Whoa.
Get out of town.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
48? Come on.
So-
you gave Tinkerbell 100%. 48?
So clearly, we are in the minority of
No.
people who like this movie.
This movie is way better than a freaking 48. The lowest I would accept for this movie... Sorry. The lowest I would accept for this movie is like a 60%.
Kelly is indignant.
Anything below that, you're in... No. 48%? That's garbage. That's literally human garbage.
Yeah, well.
I will okay, so it's interesting because I have very strong opinions about both iterations of Shaggy Dog, apparently.
Clearly.
The original Shaggy Dog is great. The remake of Shaggy Dog is utter garbage. So, you better just agree.
You best just watch out now. Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on just a second.
It's time for Kelly's favorite part of the show.
Hold on just a minute, David. I'm not ready.
What do you mean you're not ready?
It's making me really nervous.
So it's number 189.
Wait, okay, what decade is that? David just rolled his eyes. I don't know what that means.
We already got it. It's Squanto O Warriors.
What? Oh, wait, how freaking random is that? Okay, roll again.
It's random.
We're gonna get that a lot as this podcast goes on, though. It's gonna happen more.
That we get the ones that we already got?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm scared.
So this is number 319.
Oh, so that's more modern.
It's from 2009.
Wait, hold on, 2009. Okay, so this is like...
Directly before G-Force.
Yeah, this is like Game Plan G-Force area. Oh, God. What? Oh, this is like Cars 2 or something.
This is 2009's Up.
Oh.
Look at the turn.
Shut up. No.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen this movie.
I actually think I have seen this movie.
I know that it's
with the fat kid and the old fat guy and the dog. Yeah, so, I think this is actually a super good movie.
I'm pretty sure it is, and I'm pretty sure it's really sad, and I'm pretty sure your wife is going to cry big old fat tears, because I think there's like some lady who she can't have a baby, and it's really sad.
I think there's going to be fatter tears than the Pacific Northwest rain.
David, I don't think I can handle this movie.
There's going to be a lot of crying.
Yeah.
And it might not all be you.
No. But you've already seen it, apparently.
I think. I maybe only partially.
Yeah, no, I've only literally seen, I think, a couple scenes from this movie at the plasma clinic, and that's about it.
Nice.
Like 8 years ago. So there's like an old man, and he's crotchety, and there's like a little kid, and they...
Little fat little Boy Scout kid and a dog.
And they somehow end up on a house that with balloons, and they have to go up, and then you learn the crotchety old man is actually a sweetheart, and he has like a wife that's dead, couldn't have a baby or something.
I think you actually learned that immediately. But yeah. So yeah, next week we'll be doing 2009's Up. In the meantime, if you'd like to follow us on Facebook or Instagram at The Disney Movies, if you'd like to send us an email about anything and everything at thedisneymovies@gmail.com.
Like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Please leave us a review. That would be great, because those really do help, so we really appreciate that. And yeah, if you could please share with your friends to help us grow the show, because we are growing, which is awesome, but we want to grow more, of course. So please do those things.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Do it.
So, this has been At the Disney Movies of the Hearts.
I'm Kelly.
I'm David. Bye! Oh, look at little Luke's head popping out. He says, Daddy, I have diabetes. I have dogabetes.
I have dogabetes. I'm Wilford Brinkley. Dogabetes.
He's Lukeford Brimley. Yeah, it looks exactly right. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Ed Zachary.
Exactly. Of Zachary. Shaggy Dog.
Shaggy Dog. Shaggy Dog.
Just save it for the podcast, man.
Yeah, maybe you did. You could have. As I say that, are you ready? Are you ready?
Woof, woof. Wait, no. Hold on. Not quite.